And if you just give me 2 seconds, I would like to hand over to Doug, if he would be so kind as to just give us a little bit of an insight into who the Global Chamber is and how he plans for us to align our South African incredible business market with his organization so that we can move forward on a positive note on both sides. And over to you, Doug.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I'll probably call on Dana Austin too, if you're available to chat, Dana, especially given what today is there in Atlanta as well. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber, and I imagined 8 years ago that if I could assemble people better and smarter than me in every city around the world, that would be a cool network, because they would be smart about business, they would be connected globally, they would be connected locally, and also service oriented. So when members came on locally, they would be asked questions to be able to help them reach whatever goals, business goals they needed, connect them to the right people, education, et cetera, to be able to be successful. And as a network, there's really nothing that is everywhere. There are things that are within cities and within regions, but in terms of a global network where people are proactively connecting members to opportunities, to clients, to employees, to partners, I still haven't seen that exist. It just doesn't. It exists maybe at the CEO only level, but it doesn't include the organization. And so we look forward to settling in Johannesburg, the chapter. We also have Durban starting up. I think that one, even though he's interested in doing it this month, I think probably certainly in the next 30 days, I think is probably a safe bet. So we'll have 2 chapters in the country. And then our goal is to be everywhere so that we can be connected everywhere. Our main goal is business and growing our members' business. But I would say there's also at the end of this, there are other benefits that we can create in communities. Those benefits would be related to what today is all about. And that is Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday is a day of remembrance of really a truly great man who wanted to have equity. Equity in business could mean that anybody can start a business. Why not? Why can't we have that to happen? And why do we need to prejudge people based on their religion or skin color or who they love or gender, whatever other factors might be in their life, when really what they bring to the table is really all that matters? And those of us that have been in very diverse teams recognize that those teams are more fun and they're almost always more productive and innovative. And so that portends well for growing global business when you have a team that is from a lot of different places with a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different life stories. And so thank you, Natalie, for the opportunity to say a few words. Dana, did I make the right comments? And is there anything that you would like to say, given your leadership within Global Chamber Atlanta?
Hi, and happy Dr. Martin Luther King's Day to each and every one of you. And thank you, Doug. And congratulations, Natalie. We are ecstatic for Jayberg making it on the map, and that you already have a plan for 2023 to just be off the chart. So we're here to help you do that, number one. You have a support from the executive directors and of course, our CEO and vice president and the rest of the team. Here in Atlanta, I can say hot Atlanta today, it's warming up a little bit, but it's a significant day, as Doug mentioned, it being 37 years since Dr. King Holiday was actually instituted in the United States. And I can venture to say that he was a global thinker. He was a global thinker starting locally. He said, let me make the changes right here in my own state and my own nation and my own country that can expound to the world. And yes, he wanted us to be seen and viewed as people by the content of our characters and not the color of our skin. So when you speak about people that inspire, Doug, I know you mentioned your father-in-law, so that's in my mind. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. Those are three of my top two. I would add Dr. Maya Angelou is another. So here, honoring the holiday in the United States, what is promoted is to really have a day on the day off. Do something for a service, do something for a charity, do something for someone else, but whatever it is, serve. And one of Dr. King's quote is, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So on this day, we honor him in service. We honor him in collaborating with organizations to make a positive impact in our local communities and around the world. We honor him that one day, as he said, every boy and girl will be able to hold hands around the world. And we make those incremental leaps through Global Chamber. I'm grateful. I'm sorry, I've had a little bit of an allergy, but congratulations. Let us continue the mission of Dr. Martin Luther King. And one thing I will say, as executive directors, is really paramount for us to be mindful of the holidays in other countries, because we are global, right? So I need to know what's going on in South Africa or in different parts of Tokyo if it's a holiday, so that we can recognize and be sensitive to it as well. So I want to thank each of you for recognizing this monumental holiday. God bless.
Thanks, Dana. And so back to you, Natalie. And one of the things I took away, other than that quote, which I wrote down, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. For some reason, that was not in my head before, but now it's going to be there forever. And the other piece of it is, you know, I have a board meeting for San Francisco in a couple hours, and I recognized well after it was scheduled that this was a holiday in the US. And so some people won't be there. We decided to move forward with it. But that was a mistake on our part. So what we'll do is understand better and have the holidays on the calendar right from the get-go. We've had that in the past, but being January, we hadn't caught up yet. We only had some of them. And then your point on the world holidays is an interesting one, right? Which ones, you know, I think we need to be aware and cognizant of all of the significant holidays around the world. You know, things like, well, there's many. So we'll do a better job of that, and that'll be something we work on over the next few weeks. So thank you, Dana. Natalie, how about you?
Yes. Awesome. Thank you very much, Dana. I really appreciate your support. It's awesome to have this kind of panel to move forward with. And that's what I love about Global Chamber, to be honest, because when I saw our young leaders from here already starting to have an opportunity to travel and be a part of the global economy, we're giving our youth an opportunity to step out there and be wild and be global. And, you know, it's a very close thing to my heart because, you know, we don't, as leaders and the governments, ever really stop and think about our people. We get so caught up in that huge big politics game that we leave our people to starve on the side as if they were never there as a part of our struggle in the first place. And, you know, I, even as a white woman, come from, you know, my grandmother was a member of the Black Sash. We've always fought for equality. We've always fought for our families. For, you know, for me, this is my tribe. I can't imagine going out in the global world and leaving my people behind. That's just crazy. What's the point in going out there and becoming global if you don't take people with you and let them learn and grow and expand and become their authentic genius as a result? So that's really my big why behind why I want to tie my business in with the causes I have, as well as, and biggest one being the Global Chamber and my Facebook support group, which is called Transform Your Pain to Power. I've kicked that one off with a huge big boost this year. And it's really for all of us to start being able to share our knowledge and skills with the greater community and start moving forward together. So that's really the focus. So I'm very excited. I'm going to have to start off with Dr. Mayo because Debbie hasn't arrived as yet. So first and foremost, why did I pick the topic, set achievable targets? Because at the end of the day, people say, why achievable targets? What's the point? You don't expand yourself. So I want to be here as a representative of it, as an individual, a single parent, and a business owner, all in the same body, trying to embrace global entrepreneurship and balance family life and my responsibilities. So I want to tell you that setting achievable targets is important because you cannot always show up every single day. There are days when the children are sick. There are days when your husband's not well and he needs you to step up to the plate. These things are a reality. So I would like you to look at your schedules, look at your demands, look at your capacity when you set your goals, and then measure your progress according to that as well, so that you're not going to panic and stress and overburden yourself, which leads me as holistic health practitioner to insist on number 2, factor in self-care. Meditation time, relaxation, a long hot bath once a week. It's important because that's when you move from zone of genius. When I commit to my self-care, I can be the greatest that there is, but I can't do it if I'm overburdened. And last but not least, remember to be flexible, because things happen, life changes, we end up with COVIDs. You got to be open to ride the changes and still come out on top. So for me, consistency, one step at a time, and you reach that great step. So last but not least, I would like to hand you over and introduce, sorry, I'm going to turn my video off so I don't scare you by turning the screen around. But I would like to introduce you to my favorite person of all time, Dr. Mayer. I have been lucky enough to sit in his chair for 4 coaching sessions that changed the projection of my life. It set me forward. It gave me the opportunity to step up there and be wow about my life and not be scared to play big, right? So it's important that you understand exactly who sits before you, because Dr. Mayer Ntusani is not your average gentleman. He's not your average business entrepreneur. He is something special. So I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to drop his bio and his links and his incredible giveaways in the chat, because he's giving 5 free subscriptions to his incredible magazine. He's just got the last edition out. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over to my friend, Dr. Mayer Ntusani, while I drop his links in the chat. Take it away, Mayer.
Oh my goodness. Hi guys, good afternoon, good evening. You see, now you're making me blush. You're putting too much weight on my shoulders now.
That was not my intention.
But be that as it may, Natalie, thank you very much, my dearest friend. I'm very humbled and honored to having been one of the colleagues who are honored to speak at this launch. This is big. This is massive. Now, all of us who at some point started businesses, and some progress, others fail, you know the journey to starting, it's massive. It's huge. So I want to congratulate you and congratulate a Global Chamber. And I was listening to those speaking earlier, their vision of being everywhere in the world. You could not have said it much better. I cannot take it. I cannot take anything out of that. This is massive. You know, when I'm listening to you, Natalie, and you're saying the theme of this, it's setting goals, I'm just smiling because the chat that, or the conversation I want to have with you, it's really predicated on the book that's here. That's one of the links. Damn it, get up and do it, which is really an urge to get all of us shaken and from our comfortable zone and moving and doing something. So I really want to speak about 7 nuggets, in my humble opinion, that I believe they need to, as we start the year, we start the season, we can reflect on them and see how we use some of these nuggets to propel ourselves to our greater heights. Now, allow me to just differ on one item. Dream big. And as you all know, if your dreams don't shock you, you haven't even begun to dream. After all, it's for free. You're not gonna pay anyway. You might as well go big and dream big. Now, I just want to share this with you. Am I even sharing right? Yeah, I do.
That works.
Yeah, that's okay. Natalie, I'll be done. This will take me just only 5 hours and then we'll be done. We can go and rest.
No problem. We've set aside the time, power cuts permitting, we'll be hanging around.
And I really want to, if you may, title the conversation that we have is that how we transform ourselves in 2023 and beyond. And as I said, I really want to share with all of us around the table these 7 nuggets. The first one is challenge the inner critic syndrome. Ladies and gentlemen, most of us, if not all of us, at any point in time, there is that voice that is continually telling us how small we are or how we cannot do something. I want to present this and put this before all of us that we got to challenge that inner critic syndrome. I'm not for a minute saying that we should not pause and reflect and question what we are doing or what we want to achieve. I am saying there is that little voice that sometimes say, but who do you think you are to do this? Many great people before you have tried it and failed. And all these contradictory messages in your head, I am saying that voice that is hindering us to really propelling ourselves forward because we are great. We not only that we are great, we're born for greatness. And if we are to really live our greatness and ensure our greatness, we need the strength, the ability to talk to that inner voice and give it a more positive view of ourselves and not how we're being viewed. Or let me put it this way. Sometimes this inner critic voice is predicated on where we come from, in our experiences, the pain we've had in the past, the journey that we've had and we failed. But hey, this is just a part of the journey. So as we take 2023 and we move forward, and narrowly we're taking Global Chamber into South Africa and beyond, and probably in the African continent, let's challenge that inner critic syndrome and stand in front of this mountain and face it head on and talk to ourselves in a positive manner. The second one is really stop waiting for the complete song. I just want to share 2 stories really for the purpose of conversation. Now, suppose this is 2020 and COVID started and you're lying there and the doctor come and say, hang on, look, it's April, March, those very early ages. You have been diagnosed with COVID. There's no cure, as you know. All we can tell you is that as you're lying in this bed, we are just waiting to know when you'll be passing or when you'll die. That's first scenario. Or the second scenario goes like this. Hey, you've been tested COVID positive. We don't have the cure. The entire world doesn't know what it's doing, but we're experimenting and exploring with ivermectin and you name them. I'm just asking this, if you have a choice to choose the 2 scenarios, which one will you go for? I'd like to believe that 100%, if not all of us, you'd rather go with the second story where we're trying and doing something with the clear understanding that even though there is no cure, we will be doing something. If we're going to be waiting for the song to be completed, we will never get to the time to create the tune and sing the lyrics. And in fact, sometimes we just have to compose as we sing. You know why? Because it's life. Life just happens. I'm not saying we should not have the plan or the plans or the objectives. I am saying we cannot wait until we have composed the song. Let me put it this way. For those who are musicians, and I'm not one, if you're composing a musical piece today and you're in a happy mood and you didn't finish today and you wake up tomorrow and guess what? Life happened. You are in a different mood. Chances are the energy you had the day before is not the same as, not that it's not the same, there's a different energy today, but you still want to sing. Are you going to stop and start another song? Or are you going to continue to sing what you had and interlink that with the you of today? If we are going to wait for the song to be complete, we will never achieve our goals. And the third one, it's not moving, I don't know why. And the third one is discontinue procrastination. This has been said by many people. I really don't have the time to go to the number of examples and types of procrastinators that we have. But we all know that procrastination is that thing that tells us that we have tomorrow. I just want to urge all of us, do today that needs to be done today. Because as we all know, I cannot remember who said the words, and I like to believe everybody sitting around the table still know the check or the checkbooks. Yesterday, it's a canceled check. Tomorrow, it's post-dated check. The only cash you have at hand is today. So let's do today that which we need to do, that which we know we must do, whether we feel like it or not. And I'm adding that element of discipline because every sport person, every champion, every successful person, they know the success or the urge to move is predicated on our ability to be disciplined. That which I explained as doing that which you need to be doing, whether you feel like it or not. Allow me just make a very simple example. I run, among other things that I do. And there are days when it's raining. And recently, about 2 weeks ago, I woke up in the morning. I wanted to go and run because I'm preparing for comrades, and it was pouring. So I woke up at about 5:15. My intention was to run at about 5:45 in the morning. So when the alarm went off at 5:15, I'm like, no, I'm not going to wake up. I'm just going to sleep a little bit. There's the procrastination. At 5:25 in that rain, I jumped out of bed because I remember, do today that which you need to do today, whether you feel like doing it or not. And number 4 nugget that I really want to share with you is drop analysis paralysis. This, in my humble opinion, is the side effects or the dark horse of education. And many business schools and other schools and great schools in the world have gotten us into this trap of too much analysis and being analytical. Am I saying you should not do a calculated risk? Am I saying you should just jump into the opportunity? Am I even saying that you should just get into the car that does not have a dashboard and you drive? Of course, I'm not saying that. I am saying there needs to be a point where our analysis is halted and is preceded by action. We will never, or I still have to meet a person who will find all the variables that will be at play before they can execute any strategy. If there is one today, I'm pretty very sure, even the astronauts, till that last moment, they might not say it in public, there is still one thing that they are not sure of how it will pan out. There is still one thing that they don't know how it will play. And what is it called again? It's life. Life happens. So as we analyze and we look at the different scenarios, at some point, let's pause with our analysis. Let's not over-analyze even the simplest of the things, to a point where you even want to analyze, do I need to wake up and breathe today? Hang on, just breathe. There is no need to think about breathing. Denounce self-pity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just put it up front and be open about it. Firstly, nobody owes you, nobody owes me, nobody owes us anything. Not your friends, not your business partners. In fact, not even your parents. What your parents are owing you is providing a safe home and minimum provisions. So denounce self-pity. In fact, when we're sitting and feeling pity for ourselves, there is somebody all the times, there is always one person who is in a worse of situation than my pity. So let's get out of the pity party. As Frank Oji once said, no one is coming for you. And as soon that we realize that nobody is coming for us, in fact, when you're sitting in the pity party, nursing what we should be sidetracking by positive energy, those who we always enjoying the party with, most of the time, if they're really listening, the reality is they don't care. Because you know what? They've got their own problems and their own challenges. I am not saying again that you should not negate the fact that life happens and sometimes you are up and sometimes you are low. It's life. I am saying the greatness is not how hard you fall. The greatness is measured in how quick and how often you stand up each time you fall. Put it differently, if all of us, when we fell the first time when we tried to walk, we never stood up, we will not be sitting around this table. So let's denounce self-pity and get going with the business of the day. And second to last is build some patience. There is a statement that says, those who plant the trees don't necessarily enjoy the shade. Let's accept the fact that some things will happen immediately, but some things will take time. Let's build patience. Let's be consistent. Let's have some other plans, but patience is the energy that reminds us that after I have done that which I needed to do today, and I did not reach to my 10 to-do list, there is tomorrow, by the grace, when I'm still alive, I'll pick up on number 11. And many great people, and I think at this point in time, I was going to talk about it in the last slide, I must pause here for a minute and recognize the Dr. King that is being celebrated. I'm pretty sure that people like him and Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi and many other, while most of them never enjoyed the benefits of sitting under the shade of the trees that they planted, they had patience. And in fact, patience is one of the silent strengths that if you have, even when you're going through the depth of challenges and you're just smiling, it just lifts you up. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, let's just be original. I think it was Lisa Nichols who said, if you're looking at 100% Lisa, I'll give you 100% Lisa. But if you're looking for me to give you Les Brown, Winfrey Onfrey, I'll give you 1% of that. And in fact, it was Oprah Winfrey who said, when I found out that being authentic, it's this rich, I will, yeah, you're correct. There you go, Dana. She said so in that book. Thank you. Thank you. It was Oprah who said, if I knew earlier that being myself is this rich, I would have started early. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nobody like Natalie Clark. There will never be anybody who will ever walk this great world like Natalie Clark did. All of us are unique. And as soon we lean into our uniqueness and our authenticity, as you had said so eloquently, Ellie, Natalie, we start enjoying being in the zone of genius. And I share these 7 nuggets with you because I love me too much to succeed. I'm very excited to speak here with you in this August occasion of the launch. And thank you for the opportunity, Natalie. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Natalie, are you able to talk?
Thank you, Dr. Maya. That was awesome. I love how you did the little graphics that brought down to I love you too much to succeed. Thank you for that.
Natalie may not be available, so maybe we ask some questions, and so anyone who has a question, let's go ahead. Dr. Maya, could you maybe articulate what do you do in real life? So what is your normal role? I did, thanks to, I think, Dana, find your LinkedIn profile. For some reason, I couldn't find it. And then Dana, you found it. And so I clicked on that and there it was. It's like, I don't get it. Well, how did I not see this? Tell us a little bit more about what you do for your business and life service. Clearly, you've made a significant impact with Natalie, and it's clear today through your presentation why.
No, thank you. I mean, in short, and it was T.D. Jakes who said human beings are so complex. It's very difficult to box them. What you do and who you are, it's very many. But in a nutshell, the Financial School of Business, there are 4 things that we really do. The first one, we're an educational school. We offer accredited courses in financial management and financial markets. And what we also did in about the past 4 years now, we started a very interesting program. We call it Money Kids, where we teach them finance for kids from the ages of 6 to 17. So that's the first thing that we do. We're a business school. We teach, and that's what we do. And the second thing that we do commission research. Well, not commission, we do economic research, either commissioned or we do it when we think there's a need. For an example, we conducted a study last year looking at the financial wellness of the professional football players. Why do we do that kind of research? We believe in solutions that are empirically informed. And sometimes you don't have this empirical data to say, when you're making this decision in an executive, what informs you? So the second thing we do research, and we believe that with our research, we can capacitate organizations / executives better with empirical data. So when they plan their strategies, where the economy is going, where the country is going, what the world is doing, they're informed with something. That's the second thing that we do. And thirdly, we do coaching and consulting. And this mainly we do with, as from a turnaround point of view, businesses and individuals. And as Natalie said, I mean, when we met, we are doing the coaching part. So it's mainly executive and business coaching, not so much on life coaching. It's really on organizations, how you position the organization, how you position for growth, how do you scale, what metrics do you set? If you don't have, which metrics do you think are necessary for you? And lastly, we do media and publishing. And that's where the magazine is being published from. The magazine was published last year, was launched last year in April. It's a quarterly digital magazine. This Sunday, we released the 4th issue. So that's in a nutshell what and I'm responsible for, I'm the founder and executive director of the school. In a nutshell, that's really what we do.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. I think now that I see the time, I think Natalie here she might be coming back. There was the power outage locally, so that may be the issue. So we'll just wait for her to come back. In terms of how you recognize the impact that you're making, who do you typically work with? And then how do you judge whether you're on track in terms of the impact that you want to make with the school?
Gosh. Okay, look, maybe let me just go slightly back, because when the school started, that was not the strategy. This is an emergent strategy. That's not how the organization started. It started really as a management consulting, but then it then appeared that most of the interventions that we're finding from organizations, some of them need training. So that's how we looked at in the past 3 years, look at how do we now get the training, get accreditation. Now, so I'm giving you that preface to say, if the training is as a result of a diagnosis from our consulting, then, and one of the interventions are we need to build some capacity from the workforce. And if the capacity that we pick up, as I said, we mainly will be looking at the financial wellness and financial matrices and positioning. We will then say, all right, this is the training that will be needed probably for this cohort of people. Now, to measure that success, we will have had a dashboard of metrics that we picked up that they need attention. And that's where you then also put the timelines, whatever the case may be, whether it's profitability, depending on what we'll have found as key and the priorities. If that intervention, well, to measure that, we'll expect the intervention of training to then address those weaknesses. And then so when we go back, because usually, I mean, you'll be in a contract, when you go back to look at 6 months or 3 months or whatever we have decided, has the intervention of training brought any difference to this organization? This is if the training was as a result of a diagnostic tool. But because as the school is not only people who want to do our programs will have been as a result of the organizations, we'll have other people so who want to register for the programs because what they want. What we believe differentiates us from the education in general, it's simply because we try to not be too theoretical in our approach. And we also partner with organizations to allow our students to really face real life situations, to face real life challenges. For example, we don't do the sitting exams. In a humble opinion, just sitting for 3 hours and regurgitating, it's not necessarily the best way for an exam. But you say, give us a real life situation that you had to deal with. So we will, depending on how you came in through, we'll look at where do we believe the performance betterment will come from. So it's not really uniform. It's really dependent on how the student came in.
Okay, very good. Natalie, are you back? I see you in the dark.
Yes, I'm enjoying playing in my power cut corner. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed that thoroughly. Thank you very much, Dr. Mayer, for coming in and helping me out. Sorry we had to pull the blackness. Debbie hasn't arrived as our speaker, so we will throw her on for February so that you don't have to miss her because she's also exciting. But yes, I've dropped Dr. Mayer's links in the chat. Since there were only a few of us, I reckon that's probably all 5 subscriptions, free subscriptions that you email Dr. Mayer from here. And then, sorry about my lovely darkness. You know, we're trying to work out how to play princess in the dark.
Is that a relatively routine situation where they have rolling blackouts?
Yeah, they've now got us on 3 a day. It ranges between 2 to 4 hours. And, you know, we don't really get much chance for the inverters and stuff to charge up before the next power cut comes. So it's put us in a bit of a roller coaster. But it's just while they're speeding up, as I say, for their launch, and then we'll be okay again. So we've just got to wait, fuss and wait. And things should right eventually. Yeah,
it's an invention though in South Africa, this load shedding. We are very unique. You know, we're doing so we're trying everything to be unique from the world. The world says there shall be light. We're like, no. We've had enough of light. We'll go this direction. The interesting part, which is very funny, Eskom, which is the entity that provides electricity. Since I've understood and also trying to be being in business, the only company that wants you to pay more but use less of the service and don't use it but pay more for it.
Yeah, we've just turned it into a bit of a joke, Doug, you know, as we try and circumvent the new things, get ourselves up with alternative power, because that's really an important thing for our futures as business owners. So it's really just to ride the storm and still keep our reputation internationally, you know.
Yeah, you'll work through it, I'm sure. Going back to Dr. Mayer's comments, one of the things, Doctor, that you talked about reminded me of something that is another member of Global Chamber. It's something called positive intelligence, and Cesar and I at Global Chamber have been going through that. We're going to introduce that to the members around the world. And the points that you made related quite directly to some of the points in positive intelligence. The number one, for instance, that you mentioned was the inner critic. The number one main saboteur that he talks about is the judge. You know, the judge of yourself, the judge of others, the judge of a situation, you know, your head, you know, making decisions based on how you were as a child, as a mainly more of a defense mechanism. Now, as an adult, a lot of those things are in the way and get in the way of progress. When you work with an entrepreneur or a business owner, that we all have the judge, right? It's just a matter of whether it's relatively under control. How do you get that? How do you get them to realize, you know, that that's such a barrier? Do you have mechanisms and processes to be able to get them to put that under control in some other way? In positive intelligence, he talks about the saboteurs like the judge and the sages. And the sage is the other side of the Nelson Mandela, Dr. King side, truly sage-like. They have those devils as well, but they over time have learned clearly to be able to control those to a large extent. But most of us don't and can't. So that gets in the way of business. So how do you manage that with the people that come into the school, or do you?
You give me all difficult questions. I personally, and I've said this before, that there'll never be another mayor. So that's what I'll always say. Yes, there'll never be another Natal. So I always say that should be the first point of call. But linking to the inner critique, as you correctly said, when you look at the child, and we can learn a lot from babies. They've got very clear mind. They are not exposed to fear, pain, blah, blah. They are risk-free. They're not scared of anything. So in my humble opinion, we get to this stage based on where we have been. Life has happened to us to a point where we start not believing in ourselves. Because in the end, that's what it boils down to, where the inner voice can be more louder than who you are destined to be. And the simple, well, what I found worked with me, and this is what we do and we share with clients, is if we accept that there'll never be another mayor who will work this, we equally accept that there is but one thing that if I don't do, nobody else will be able to do it. Only me can do it, and I need to go and find out. There might be more than one thing. And thirdly, there must be something that you are good at, and there must be something that you do without energy, without effort. And that's only talking about find the zone of genius. All of us, there's something that everybody will come to you. You don't even realize that when it happens, people will just always come to you. It just happens so automatic, less effort, but super results. So let's come back to answering the question. If we accept these three propositions, then we need to accept that there is something that I can do. While I'm not yet in my reality, what my inner voice is telling me, there is something that I can do, even though I'm not doing it the best yet, but I can do it better than anybody. And when you start leaning into what you can do, put it differently. So we don't focus on weaknesses. We simply believe that you outsource your weaknesses. All of us have got weaknesses. If you know them good and well, outsource them. Go and hire people to do your weaknesses. But you focus on the strength. What are the things that I know I do well? What are the things that I know I do without effort? Because when you do that, in our humble opinion, you raise the voice of the can, as opposed to the voice that's telling you that you can't do this. Others have done it before. So we focus mainly on the strength mentality, the things that you know you do without effort. And it's very funny when most of us focus on that. And they might not in the beginning even look like they are business related. And in fact, sometimes the inner voice or whatever is holding you on business has got nothing to do with business per se, has got everything to do with, can I sort out mayor? Because once I sort out mayor, other things fall into place. And as far as we humbly believe, one of the ways to sort out Mayor is to really connect with Mayor, understand what is it that I'm doing, what am I strong at? A simple example, I try to play golf. I'm not a good golfer. With effort, I can give you average results. With good effort, but I can run. If you were to tell me I must run for 7 days nonstop, I'll do it without effort. I'm using that as a lousy example that, so I know when it comes to sport, my zone of genius, it's long distance running. I can run 12 hours alone without anybody. So I do it with ease. But for me to do golf, even if I have to do it for 12 hours, I will still give you sub-average. So if we can find what are these things that we can do without energy, we start lowering the voice of criticism without us, because I know this I can do.
Awesome.
Good, great answer.
That's super exciting. I want to throw something at Dr. Mayer, please, Doug. You're entering the Comrades, right? Which was one of our hugest, most exciting races in our country. And I'd like to know how us as the Global Chamber can support you.
I'm crazy there, but Natalie, look, as I said, I mean, in 2018 June, I couldn't even run 5 kilometers to complete, you know, but I was a little bit overweight. So I started running 2 years later. From not running 5 kilometers, I ran that virtual Comrade 90 kilometers. Now, last year, I then wanted to do the Guinness World Record. I think you know about it, to run 5 ultra marathons in 1 month. Yeah, well, we didn't do it because they needed registered marathons. So that is still on the to-do. So what we need to do is to find existing 50-kilometer marathons that are happening all over the world that can be run in 1 month. So it's there, but it's not happening this year. But what is happening again?
No problem. We've now thrown it out to the cosmos. You're in trouble.
No, it's going. It is happening. Once we find them, it is happening. Now, how that will happen, I don't know. I might just all of a sudden wake up, I own a private jet. I don't know from where. That's pretty good. So I ran in Joburg on Sunday. Wednesday, I fly to Berlin. I run in Berlin. And after that, I fly to Brazil. I run in, I don't know, but that's still coming. But for now, Natalie, the Comrades, what I entered will still be a normal Comrade just running. But I'll be doing a back-to-back. Yes, last year was my first formal one, official one. So this year will be my second official Comrades. But that will be, it was my 4th 90-kilometer.
Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations. I'm super proud of you. And I really am supporting you every step of the way. So that's why I had to throw it into the Global Chamber. So Doug knows about your incredible escapades and we can back you to the hilt. I'm excited. So thank you so much for that, Doug, and for putting us in this platform. I'll hand it back to you.
Oh, great. Let's close it up. And I'm wondering if, is Global Trade Consult, is that Ruby by any chance? Are you there, Ruby, or someone from the company? And do you have a moment just to introduce yourself? Global Trade Consult, are you there? Maybe not. So that might.
Yes, I am. This is Ruby. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yay. Hello, Ruby. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Hello, Natalie. Sorry, I joined in quite late, so I've missed a lot of it, a part of it. But I do pick up some few points last minute, so really nice to be here. My name is Ruby Golo. I'm the Executive Director for Global Chamber here in Accra, Ghana, and I'm the founder and CEO of Global Trade Consult as well.
So
Thank
welcome.
You.
So Ruby is a key aspect of the Global Chamber team, across Africa. This is a very impressive person within Ghana who is very well connected across the country and definitely someone everybody should know. So thank you, Natalie, again for sharing with us today the beginning of the Global Chamber Johannesburg chapter, with Durban coming, and then a number of other chapters. I think we have somewhere around 20 going through training this month. It's going to be an exciting building month for Global Chamber, and it looks like we've got quite a number of great things coming up in the future, not the least of which is this chapter. So thank you, Natalie, for all that you do. Thank you for covering this topic, which is so critical. And going back to that first point that Dr. May had mentioned, was that judge, the being critical and having the procrastination and all those aspects get in the way. Another one that, you know, I don't have as much, but I've certainly seen people, the over-analysis, the analysis paralysis, and feeling like you have to have it all built out before you take a step, instead of just taking a step and feeling comfortable. These are normal entrepreneurial challenges that stop progress and stop a lot of people from moving forward. And so thank you for bringing those to light. No real, you know, there's no ultimate solution on this other than to be part of the global tribe. You know, talk to other people who are in the tribe and tell them about what your goals are. Tell them more about what you're trying to accomplish or would like to accomplish. And undoubtedly through those conversations, you know, good things will happen. So Natalie, again, thank you. We're going to end the program now. And Cesar, I don't think Cesar is on the call.
Also, please save the chat to everybody that has attended. If you didn't save the chat, you can get hold of me later for the copy. And then we did put the links for the next event at the top of the chat underneath my links. So please join us for the next event, refer people our way, and let's build a chamber that people can really aspire to be a part of.
Yeah, the next Accra event, I believe, is the last Tuesday on the 31st. And it's Ghana, and then there's another city. I think it might be Switzerland. I'm not sure. It might be the one
yes,
that's
coming. A cross metro with Switzerland on the 31st of January, 2 p.m. our local time.
Got it. And then, you know, in between, there's lots and lots of different activities going on. So jump in along the way. And Natalie, you have a good rest of your evening. Hopefully, when do you expect the power to come back on?
We're on for midnight. So we have another couple of hours, about 3 or 4 hours to still go before the power cuts back. But we're already at 9 p.m. So we can sort of wind down. And, you know, it's forcing us to be more family orientated. It forces me to get up and take breaks from the laptop. So it's not entirely a negative.
I see. Well, if you're making the best of a situation rather than cursing it, you're finding a way to benefit from it. So that's awesome.
You know, it's been going on for years. I think we've been on this for just over a decade already. So we've learned to just go with the flow, and you know, we still manage to eat, funnily enough. So it's an interesting experience to be a part of Africa at this important point. So
these are important aspects of global business as well. The time that I was in China and that happened, and it was right before a 3-hour presentation where I needed electricity to give the presentation. That was a stressful moment. However, I was able over the next 3 hours to figure out a way to deliver it and not be driven out of the country. So these are things that are attributes for global business people. There's always something that goes wrong, and our ability to handle that, to handle what goes wrong, is really what makes us hopefully even more special people. So thank you for being a special person, Natalie. Thank you, Dr. Maya, for being so amazing yourself. And thanks everybody for attending. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I dropped the link for the copy. You saw it, for the copy of the magazine.
Yay. Thanks.
So cheers, guys.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye, Dr. Maya.
Oh, I see. The downloads. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, gentlemen. Thank you so much for supporting me on this event, and we'll catch up with you guys later.